Hello everybody and welcome to another Top 5 Records video. The bad news is that the announced Summer of Love will not continue due to the rise of COVID numbers. So this is an excellent moment to look back at the right and the real Summer of Love, the summer of 1967. And the best Summer of Love albums. Now, what do I mean with a Summer of Love album? The Summer of Love is generally regarded as the summer in which the Monterey Pop Festival took place and when in San Francisco and LA the hippie movement started to rise and the music which went along with the hippie movement. So we're focusing on albums from 1967 recorded in LA or in San Francisco, which are part of the hippie movement. So you will not find the Velvet Underground or Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention in here, who did record and did release in 1967 in Hollywood or in Los Angeles, but they were anti-hippie bands. You will not find the Doors in this list because the Doors, of course, were a darker band. They were not anti-hippie, but they were a reaction to the hippies. They were not a true hippie band. You will not find anything from Great Britain in this list because this is the initial Summer of Love list. And I'll start the list off with the number 5, Buffalo Springfield. Again, this is a great album. Buffalo Springfield is a very exciting band, and you might know that Neil Young was in this band. And this record, it does not contain Buffalo Springfield's biggest hit, For What It's Worth. I don't understand why they call it For What It's Worth. I mean, everybody knows the lyrics. Stop, children, what's that sound? Everybody knows what's coming round. Well, I don't even know the full lyrics, but you kind of know what I mean. This record doesn't contain that sound. It contains something much better. And actually a song in which you can hear the true talent of Neil Young as a songwriter. Expecting to Fly. It's majestic. And the entire album has a great atmosphere. It has great songs. But you can hear Neil Young's brilliance on that song and on this record. It's great album in total. And if you're going down to buy it, if you do not come across a first pressing, this mono pressing from 2018 by the Bernie Grundman Company. Bernie Grundman is always great. It's worthwhile. It sounds great. It's in mono. So anytime a record was recorded or mixed in mono, get the mono one because that's most of the times the version on which they spent the most attention and in which the artists were involved. Number 4. Tim Buckley. Goodbye and Hello. This is the second record by Tim Buckley, and there's something interesting going on in here because Tim Buckley was only 20, and being a singer-songwriter, it was not a lot of singer-songwriters were really challenged with doing musically different things, but you can hear that Tim Buckley was definitely challenged by, for example, Blonde on Blonde, and he made a really exceptional record. And it's this record. He does bizarre things with his voice, in falsetto, a lot of different styles. It is. You might expect a small singer-songwriter record if you look at the cover and if you know other things Tim Buckley did, but this is somewhat. It's somewhat like his Sgt. Pepper's. It's a very great record. It's also a very nice pressing. This is the 1967 50th anniversary pressing in mono, and it's a great album. You gotta listen to it. The number 3. This is a great record, and I think a lot of people might have already heard it. Love Forever Changes. And I also like the album they did before this one, Da Capo. But this is their classic. And this is hippiness all over the place. And when they released this record, they were grand, they were big, there were billboards in LA, and everybody expected Love to become the new Beach Boys or like some kind of international Beatles, because this album and the albums before this, they were hits, and it sounds so great, it sounds so lovely. I mean, the fact that they call themselves Love, and if you listen to the songs with the album, the band name in mind, you can understand where they're coming from. This is total hippiness, and it sounds grand. This pressing by Sundays, it's a very good pressing. At the same time, when this was released, the Mobile Fidelity Soundlab actually also released pressing, and I believe that the reviewer said that this one even sounded better. I didn't buy both to compare. I was already very happy with this one. It's a great record. And we're coming to the number 2, nearing the end of the list. And this one might come as a surprise. I think it's from a band that is way too underrated, and we should start to revalue the great Moby Grape. And Moby Grape was somewhat of a super group from the late 60s, and they dealt with a lot of problems. They were really a bad luck group. They were brilliant musicians. I mean, brilliant musicians. What they're doing together, the vocals, their playing, their skillfulness. They are like jazz level musicians. Can I say that? And you can't say that from a lot of hippie musicians. These guys were great, and this album is incredible. But somehow they did not get played on the radio. This album was great, but the moment they wanted to release it, they got in problems with their manager. As a matter of fact, I believe Neil Young recalled the story that he was in the room when the band members signed their name to their manager, and they were not entitled to their own name anymore. So they got stuck in all kinds of legal procedures, and that's why a lot of people have not heard from them. There were drug problems involved, and it's bizarre if you listen to this album and to their album 1969 that they got overshadowed by something like the Grateful Dead, and the Grateful Dead are great, really great. Quicksilver Messenger, they overshadowed them. Also, good band, you know. But Moby Grape is, yeah, I'm just gonna say it. They are the best San Francisco hippie band. They are amazing, and if you can find a pressing of this, any pressing, buy it. You will love it. I actually have the 1984 mono remaster, which sounds incredible. But if you can find Moby Grape, buy Moby Grape. Their first album, the 1969 album, and there are even some other albums which are nice too. But those two are masterpieces. And Moby Grape, that's a big masterpiece. Okay, I should continue the list and go to the number 1 spot. And the number 1, and I think everyone sees this coming. It's Jefferson Airplane. Surrealistic Pillow. And why am I holding up both of them? This is the original US stereo. This is the Mobile Fidelity mono remaster. And I cannot choose because I've compared the two of them loads of times. And some songs sound better on stereo. Some songs sound better on mono. The entire album is just gorgeous. I mean, embryonic journey. It's when you hear it on this one, on the mono one, the guitar goes all the way. It's so great. It sounds so incredible. And that's not all. I mean, this album has Somebody to Love and White Rabbit. It is, I mean, like you're tripping on acid. This album is amazing, and it's the core essence of the Summer of Love, in my opinion. And it's also the case that 2 of these songs became classics, so everyone associates them with the world of hippies. This is the iconic hippie album. At least that's what I think. Do you agree? Don't you agree? Respond below and let me know. And I'll see you to another Top 5 Records list. Bye.